international visitors, all you need to say is Aiko. So to our international visitors, say Aiko. One more time, Aiko. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for opening Osai Crunching Seprewa. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. To officially open the Cedi at 60 International Currency Conference and deliver his presidential address, it is my profound honor and privilege to invite the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much. I asked the separate musician to pass this way to pick a number from my assistant so that he can come and see me. As I normally do, my presentation will be in two parts, my prepared speech, and then I normally have a few reflections before I inflict my speech on you. My mother died in 2016, in June, and I looked after her. And until she died, she had a very interesting way of counting her money. For her, the 20 Cedi note was £1. So if I gave her 100 Cedi notes, for her it was £5. And so 1,000 Cedis was £50. And until she died, that was the way she would count her money. And so people have their different way of accounting for their money. And I find it strange that even today, I think this current phase of the Cedi was introduced in President Kufuor's time, I think in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. And so 2027 will be 20 years of the current redenomination of the Cedi. And yet it's very interesting. You go to a funeral, I was at a funeral, and somebody donated 100,000 Cedis. And when it was announced, oh, so was giving 100,000 Cedis, the whole place was quiet. Because I thought the guy deserved a very big round of applause. Apparently, they didn't understand what 100,000 Cedis was. So when the MC said, Namon Preno, Nipama 1 billion Cedis. The past, when we traveled with our security and drivers and others, and they got their per diem, maybe $500 or $1,000, whatever it is. Anytime they went to the shop to buy a few things and bring home, they always use their calculator on their phone. And so if they see a shoe and they say, oh, the shoe is 120 pounds, they will calculate 120 pounds into Cedis and say, what? When they see how many Cedis they will get for this shoe, they will make job, and I'm sure that they will not be very happy with the Bank of Ghana and Governor Isiama, because now when they use that calculator, it will not be as much as it used to be before. A relative of mine was going to buy a car and asked for an invoice from one of the car dealers. And when the invoice came, showed it to me. And I was surprised to note that the invoice was quoted in Cedis, no dollars. A few years ago, if you were going to buy a car, the invoice they'll give you is quoted in dollars. Today, people are quoting in Cedis, even house rents. You want to pay in dollars, it says, no, you pay me Cedis. I just want to say that the governor and all your people, your team at the Bank of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance, Bank of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance. Ghanaians are grateful to you for the management of our currency. I think that a lot of respect has returned to our currency, and it's my hope that you keep whatever you're doing to make sure that we don't have excess liquidity. All those words you people have, open market operations, whatever those your technical jargons are, whatever you're doing, continue doing so that the cedi is respected. And so allow me to proceed on established protocol and acknowledge the governor and your team and our visitors from outside currency research and all of you, and thank you for putting up this conference. And so it's a profound honor for me to join you for this historic Cedi at 60 International Conference, a gathering of leaders, innovators, policymakers, and practitioners whose work influences the past, present, and the future of money. I wish to commend the Bank of Ghana and the currency research team for uniting such a distinguished community to discuss the evolving framework for currency management, monetary governance, and digital finance. Your deliberations over the next 2 days reaffirm a fundamental truth that the future of money is inextricably linked to the future of national development, institutional credibility, and global economic integration. 60 years ago, Ghana took a bold and sovereign step by introducing the cedi, not merely as a unit of account or a medium of exchange, but as a declaration of independence, our identity, and the capacity of our state. And so the cedi symbolizes our national aspiration to govern our own affairs, regulate our markets, and stand shoulder to shoulder with other nations in managing our own monetary destinies. Over 60 years now, the cedi has, one, anchored the conduct of our monetary policy. It has shaped the expectations of households and businesses. It has absorbed shocks, domestic, regional, and global, and symbolized the resilience of the Ghanaian economy and the Ghanaian people. And so the cedi at 60 is therefore more than just a celebration. It is a moment for analysis. It is a chance to consider what our currency stands for, how it has developed, and how it must be fortified for the years ahead. This conference takes place against the backdrop of a rapidly shifting global monetary landscape, from the rise of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, to the accelerating adoption of digital payments, from increasing cyber vulnerabilities to the renewed role of cash as an anchor of resilience during crisis. The world is witnessing the emergence of a hybrid monetary ecosystem. And in this new paradigm, cash, electronic payments, and digital assets coexist. Traditional models of monetary policy are being tested. Trust in institutions has become as crucial as technical capacity. And this new reality places a significant responsibility on our central banks, not just as regulators of money, but as guardians of trust. And so this conference provides Ghana and Africa with an invaluable platform for evidence-based dialogue, comparative learning, and forward-looking policy innovation. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the importance of this engagement is heightened by Ghana's notable progress over the past 10 months in achieving macroeconomic stability and restoring confidence in our economy and our currency. And so allow me to highlight some key developments. One, macroeconomic stabilization through disciplined fiscal consolidation, increased domestic revenue mobilization, prudent expenditure rationalization, and better coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities. Through this, we have restored balance and reduced uncertainty. Inflation has continued to decline, and expectations are more firmly anchored today. The second is the strengthening of the cedi. Improved forex liquidity management enhanced reserve buffers, and the regulatory reforms have contributed to significant exchange rate stability, which is critical for business planning, investment decisions, and public confidence. And the next is rising confidence indicators. Business sentiments, consumer surveys, and investment outlook reports all indicate a steady recovery of our economy. Our development partners, the financial markets, and the global rating agencies have acknowledged these reforms. And so these efforts have culminated in a significant sign of credibility. Ghana's sovereign rating by S&P was upgraded recently from CCC plus / C to B minus B with a stable outlook on 7th November 2025. And that is why I give credit to our finance ministry and our central bank, the Bank of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an affirmation that our fundamentals are strengthening and that we're on a clear path of recovery. These gains must be protected, consolidated, and expanded through policy discipline and institutional coherence. The core principle of effective economic management is an independent, credible, and professionally insulated central bank. And so let me state unequivocally that the government of Ghana is firmly committed to safeguarding the independence of the Bank of Ghana. A strong and autonomous central bank is essential for anchoring inflation expectations, for maintaining exchange rate stability, for enhancing investor and market confidence, and ensuring long-term policy credibility. This is not a matter of personal preference. It is an economic necessity. A modern currency regime requires not only strong institutions, but also an informed and responsible public. I therefore urge the Bank of Ghana to strengthen nationwide public education in three critical areas. The first is promoting the use of the Cedi in all domestic transactions. Using the national currency strengthens economic stability and reduces unnecessary exposure to exchange rate volatility. The second is improving currency handling practices. Poor handling practices increase printing costs, shorten the life of the currency notes in circulation, and undermine currency integrity. We must promote respect, proper storage, and responsible use of the Ghanaian cedi. And the third is enhancing financial literacy. An informed citizenry is better able to prevent fraud, demand accountability, and bolster the financial ecosystem. So public education must extend to schools, to the markets, to transport unions, to digital platforms, and especially to rural communities. Now one will ask, why does the Cedi at 60 milestone matter? The 60th anniversary of the Cedi is of deep national and policy relevance. It is a moment to assess the evolution of our monetary framework and draw lessons for future reforms. A currency is ultimately a social contract built on confidence, credibility, and transparency. And this conference will inform the next generation of reforms, ensuring that the Cedi remains robust, secure, and relevant. And I'm confident that this conference will contribute meaningfully to promoting peer learning among central banks, driving innovation in currency design, security, and management, enhancing cross-border payment interoperability, strengthening regulatory frameworks for fintech and digital currencies, positioning Ghana as a regional financial and fintech hub, ensuring and shaping Africa's role in the evolving global monetary order. Ladies and gentlemen, the results of your deliberations today will affect not only policy decisions, but also the long-term path of the Cedi and other African currencies. The endorsement by the African Continental Free Trade Area by a large majority of African countries has opened up the opportunity for the world's largest common market to be established. However, for goods to be traded seamlessly across the continent, it is essential for us to have a payment and settlement system that enable African businesses to transact using their own currencies. And this has led to the establishment of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, the PAPS. And so I expect this payment system to engage your attention at this conference as a catalyst for settling transactions as businesses and countries exchange products across Africa under the African Continental Free Trade Area. And so as I conclude, we commemorate the Cedi at 60. Let us commit ourselves to shaping a currency and an economy that reflects the hopes and aspirations of our people. The next chapter of the Cedi will depend on 1, sustained macroeconomic discipline, 2, a strong and inclusive financial sector, 3, technological innovation and digital transformation, 4, enhanced public literacy and responsible currency use, and 5, an unwavering, independent, confident central bank. And so my government remains resolutely committed to these pillars, and we shall support our central bank, maintain the trust of our people in our bank in order to make it carry out its rightful mandate. So ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor to declare the Cedi at 60 International Conference duly opened, and I thank you. May God bless the Bank of Ghana. May God bless our homeland Ghana. I thank you.